G'day fellas and welcome to a casted game of Age of Empires 4. Today, we've got two of the world's best players. You should be pretty familiar with these folks. Ladies and gentlemen, in the south of the map, in the colour pink, playing as the French. Representing Team Liquid, it's Demu. And in the north of the map, in the colour orange, playing as the Chinese, it's Kiljadi. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Dry Arabia, the home of Age of Empires. I mean, that's probably the best name for it, really, when you think about it, right? Is there a better map than Dry Arabia? Probably not. I think, you know, there's a couple different formats I'd love to combine. Like, I love Beastie's sort of new format where he's doing, you know, everybody gets one civ. I love that. And then it's like, I really like the King of the Desert format. I think that's, Mem? Is it Mem that does the King of the Desert over in Age of Empires 2, where they literally just play Arabia? It's like, I would love to combine those two formats. Just, I guess that, sorry, I'm so autistic. I'm like, one map, one civ, 10,000 games. So, okay, never mind. I'm just gonna go back into my corner. We're just gonna keep casting Dry Arabia games. It's such a good map, man. I don't know. I think what I love about it is it's defensive. Even though it's an open map, it's defensive, or at least it can be defensive. Like, if you look at Kiljadi's spawn here, it is just, you wall off this part, you probably don't want to wall out over here. You could probably just chuck a Barbican. I don't even know whereabouts he's going to go, but you can put some good walls in here. That's the point I'm trying to make, right? It's a map that you can wall. So whether or not we see walls today, in fact, I'm somewhat curious about what we will actually see today, but I suspect it's probably going to start with professional and end in scouts. That is going to be pretty stock standard. So we'll check in now, and oh, isn't that painful? There is nothing more painful than coming back to your base with only 2 sheep and seeing the enemy scout running the opposite way with an entire 9 sheep, looking like a solid New Zealander right now. But unfortunately for Demu, it's not pretty, is it? It's not. So probably going to be seeing the School of Cavalry drop down. There it is. No real surprises here. He's just looking to keep it stock standard. Normally, whenever you're doing base building with the French, I'm always trying to think like 4 steps ahead, where I'm like, okay, I'm going to build my School of Cavalry here, and that's going to go in the corner, and then I'm going to build my Rangers out here. Do I have an... Ooh, there it goes. My mouse did the thing. Sorry, it's not my mouse. I'm not going to say it was my mouse. It's not a technical difficulty with my mouse. Age of Empires 4 did the thing. Yeah. I mean, could it be my mouse? No, it can't possibly be my mouse because it's 2 different components, right? When you think about it, like, you go back and watch that. So I'm using my middle mouse button right now to scroll. So, like, if you look at my mouse cursor, you'll see that it vanishes. It's because I pressed the middle mouse button, and now I'm moving it like this. This is different from something like scrolling with the keys, and as you can see, it's kind of jarring to watch that. And anyway, the moment I do that, and then I move, it's like I get a sensitivity increase of like 1,000,000, because normally it's just meant to be very subtle. And then I don't know what happens, but it's just like, yeah, it's like the sensitivity of that movement just skyrockets for a brief second, and you just go, what? Let's see, even then I can't do it as like the same way that it does it. It just does it very well. Age Up's coming through on the north of the map though. Kiljadi. I mean, when it comes to the meta for the Chinese, I feel like the Chinese meta at the moment is actually quite good. Quite good for... Oh, God, 15 sheep. I tell you what. Do we need to discuss anything more about this game? 15 sheep. I mean, this is always going to be a complaint of mine. And you can at me for it, and you can say, oh, you know, variability is always fun. But, I mean, we've talked about autism already. But it's like, for me, I feel like the more sheep that... How do I say this? Variability is fun in games, but only fair variability. The fact that we've got 14 sheep here, or he brought in 15 sheep, and we saw Demu with 2. Like, you got to remember, Demu scouted the entirety of the map. He's only bringing back another 2 sheep now. This is not good for Demu. Professional scouts coming through for both of them. This is not good for Demu, right? Like, very clearly, this is not a good thing. And the reality is, Demu's a good player. It's not like his scout has just been idle. He sent his scout in a reasonable direction, and the scout has only just come up with that many sheep. And Kiljadi's just sent his in one and in another direction, and they've only got that. And it used to be worse. It used to be that you only had 3 sheep. At least now they give you 5 sheep. Sure, they reduce the amount that the amount of resources that are in each sheep. So there's that component. But I still feel like it needs work. I still feel like, and I don't even know how you'd change it. Like, what would you do? You could I think like the most obvious component is just to give more people, give people more sheep at the start. But then, I mean, does that really change anything? Not really. I mean, we've already got like 5 sheep is enough to get you to feudal age and to get you to professional scouts, right? Like, probably is it 1,000? I don't know. I don't know if 1,000 food is enough. Anyway, the point is, right? Like, 1,000 food is already at that point where it feels like it's pretty decent. Like, if you push that up a bit more, I guess the whole idea is I just want to see it more fair, right? I don't want to see a game be decided just simply because Kiljardi managed to get 15 sheep and Demo got 2. That's not fun. That's not fair. His scout just happened to go in the appropriate spots. But, you know, it's one of those things where it's like, it kind of makes, you know, this is what you ask for, right? Like, when you play Age of Empires 4, the map is generated randomly. And even though it follows a certain script, it's different every time. The gold's in a different spot, the berries are in a different spot. If you wanted something specific, the people have always said, go play StarCraft. Now, I'll be honest with you, not really a fan. But it doesn't mean they don't have a point. You know, if you've got a specific map every single game, I don't know, could you go the Age of Empires 2 route? That could be an option for you. You could go the Age of Empires 2 route where you've basically got, like, clusters of food sources that are nearby. So much to the point that players' build orders are optimized around it, where if, like, it's considered bad manners if you take their sheep. It's called laming. Like, they say, oh, he lamed my sheep. It's like, oh, but it basically means he found my sheep before I could find my sheep, and he subsequently took my sheep. And, like, I've watched players before at the high level where they will give the sheep to the enemy player because that's their sheep, quote unquote. So, I mean, you could go that route. I'll be honest, I can't ever imagine giving a sheep to somebody, even if it's theirs. But I guess, like, once you're a part of that community, you sort of adopt the ethics and the norms that are associated with it, don't you? So, I guess that's another thing. But it's an interesting discussion, isn't it? I mean, if you've got any tips, if you've got any feedback, obviously the devs will keep an eye out on Reddit threads, on videos that are on YouTube. So if you do have feedback, really, like, post it down in the comments, and the devs will read it. I'm not even kidding you. They'll check in. So anyway, let's get into it, because we got ourselves a bit of action. Spears together with horsemen. Now moving on to the gold mine. Vils looking to try and gather up a lot of gold here. He's got a huge amount of gold, Vils. It's a front gold, rolled low on that one right there, wouldn't you? And loses a Vil because of it. So, you know, it feels like it's gone from bad to worse here for Demo. Demu. Just simply because, I mean, like, you got, it's back gold versus front gold. It has everything gone right. You got double front wood lines so that you can wall those in. It's just, what's gone wrong here? Is Dry Arabia, the pinnacle of consistency, has just become the most unbalanced map. And it's only at the top echelon that you'll see this. Because anything below this, like even at the Conqueror 3 level, and because these guys aren't Conqueror 3, it's important I stress this. These guys are like Conqueror 7. So, you know, with each band representing a 100 ELO difference. Actually, if we did that, then Demo would be like Conqueror 12. I think is it like 2400 rating or something silly. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, Dry Arabia is meant to be the bastion of consistency, but I guess it's just not today. Slowly bringing back the food from the hunts. We do see that one of the scouts is about to get caught by a whole bunch of knights. Don't know whether he's going to be able to escape it. The charges just run out in time. Perfectly done there by Kiljardi. And the number of units that he's got on the map is looking very good. I love the way that he's playing this. Just really trying to focus on spearmen at the moment. I think we're probably going to have a castle transition coming through shortly. You can see he's got quite a lot of Vils on food. Let's switch it over to income per minute, though. Tell you what, I wish we could display income per minute and Vils at the same time, because that's very relevant. Like, an income might be low, but there could be 12 Vils on gold, which to me signifies that someone has just decided it's time for Castle Age. You know, so as an example, like literally what we're saying right now, look, can you get a better example than right now? 0 gold per minute, and he's literally got 13 Vils on gold. Call me Nostradamus, Drongadamus, Nostradrongo, whatever you want to call it. I'm putting it out there. I'm putting it out there. No Song Dynasty, by the way, for Kiljardi. A single Tang Dynasty operator, loving it. Any Chinese base builder is just going to cry when they see this. You're taking up so much space in the base with the Imperial Palace. But I guess he's just not really observing or caring about the Imperial Academy. It's just the reality of it, right? I mean, these top-level players, they don't care about that kind of little thing, about building the perfect base with 32 military production buildings around the Imperial Academy. You know, I read a comment on YouTube the other day, and I can't help but stop thinking about it, so shout out to whoever you may have been. And it said words to the effect of, this is the most awed DHD coded video I've ever seen. Something like that. And I then had to Google what that meant. And so basically, autism and ADHD have like this thing where apparently there's content that is made for people or just made about people. So my mouse did the thing. You know that doctor? There's this doctor and he's autistic. I think that's the kind of thing. Anyway, I don't know if that was a compliment or what that was, but shout out, dude. Shout out. Every single time I say something now, I'm like, is this an autistic thing to say? It's just like, you know what, bro? Everything you say is absolutely autistic AF. Don't worry, man. It's okay. Sorry. All right, let's continue. Oh, gosh. Numbers looking pretty good here for Kiljardi. He's going to have a stab at it. He's got plenty of units to stab. Couple of Lancers now in the mix as well. Scout on the backside. Spears plenty in number. No veterancy upgrade just yet for the man. He's got so many of these units. You'd love to see it. But I don't know whether it's really going to make a difference. He's got the numbers here and able to force away Demu easily from this front line. Demu now going to be on the escape. Chivalry going to come through for him. He needs to find that castle age sooner rather than later. He's working towards it at the moment. You can see he's got plenty of gold a minute right there. And the Knights doing a wonderful job of scrapping with the Horsemen and the Lancers and just keeping the Archers on the run. This is a pixel perfect performance right here from Demu, just really demonstrating exactly how to do it. Loses a couple Knights right there. Might have to let the Archers go. Indeed, he's going to do it. Gets out with the Knights. Heads back in for another charge. And Demu in a little bit of trouble here. The numbers are looking very good for Kiljardi at this stage of the game. Ville's going to be evacuated off the gold. 17 Villes. He does have a back gold out towards this position, but it's difficult to justify running out there, especially when you could just come back out into this position here. So where does Demu go from here? Obviously the answer is Castle Age. We know he's going to go Castle Age. He's done a good job of recovering some food. Obviously, the deer is one of those things where it's like... And I think that's part of the trouble, right? Like, the deer are very skill-based. I don't think it's... I mean, there's obviously an element of luck. If you've got double back deer, which we've seen players get before, against double front deer. I remember that game on Gorge where we had someone's deer literally spawn at the sacred site in the middle. And it's just like... The other player had double back deer and their deer was there. It's like, how is that fair? Like, it's just... Yeah, I don't know, man. Do we go to crafted maps? Because you know that there's two different types of maps in Age of Empires 4. You've got the generated maps and then you've got the crafted maps. And the crafted maps are maps that are specifically designed and therefore they spawn the same, exactly the same, every single game. We could look at doing that. Maybe that's a thing. How would you guys feel about that? We could do an event with a crafted map. I'm not talking like a crafted map with like drawbridges and like narrative events and all that kind of shit. I'm just talking Dry Arabia. I'm just talking, bro, get over it, Drongo, mate. I'm just talking Dry Arabia. Everybody's got the same civ. Everybody's got the same civ. Everybody plays English. It's Dry Arabia. The map always spawns the same, and we just enjoy the longbow wars. All right, it's fine. It's gonna be okay. No, that's. I mean, like the players can pick one civ. We're not gonna do it. We're not gonna do it. It's too autistic. All right, age up coming through, but he's losing out on the archers. Archer number still quite decent. As long as he's able to get the one shot on the spears, he'll be okay. The trouble is he's not able to do it. I don't think at this point. I think he's lost too many archers. Continues to lose more and more. Demu running. He's managed to shoot off another one. He's actually got still an okay number here, but this is going to continue to dwindle. He's still training more archers, so he'll be okay as long as he's got reinforcements at home. Indeed he does. Guildhall on the front of the base. You got to be so careful with this kind of thing. And now towards the back, Knights once again hit that charge. What's it called? Hitting the gritty? That's a thing, right? I saw a video about that. Oh man, another YouTube comment's like, hey, do you have any relation to this person? You sound exactly like them. And then I went and watched her stuff, and oh my lord, she was so funny. She's an Australian chick, and she's just talking about how these OnlyFans girls are farming link in bio on TikTok. Oh gosh. Did I say a wrong word? Am I going to get demonetized? I might, but you know what else is going to get demonetized right now? These archers, as they get chased around the town center. Have a look at this. There is just absolute pandemonium in the base of Demu. Killjadi, probably outnumbered at this stage, and may have overcommitted. I don't know why I don't know why Demu's not fighting that. I would be fighting this 100%. You got the TC here for backup. Use the TC to pick up the spearman. But it looks like the advantage at the moment still rests with Killjadi. Perhaps he recognized that the Killjadi's forces were still quite good. Spearman now, together with some crossbows over on the back gold. We talked about this being a potentially safe gold. And now all the Vil's going to get chased. Killjadi in just absolute prime position here. Eating Demu alive. And you can't help but feel this all goes back to the sheep. Look, he's got nothing under the TC. A single villager is here. Compare that over to the base of Killjadi, and Killjadi's just been eating his food like crazy. He's obviously done the same thing, but he's converted it into a lot more units. Whereas Demu's had to struggle with it. You can see he's really moving out onto the map now. Boar going to be coming up next for him. And this is the other thing. I don't know what the deer count was. I didn't get to see the deer count, but anything, I mean, it's hard to say. Anything to do with the deer, and normally I'm like, you know what, that's more of like a skill issue. And then I remember the gorge map, and I'm like, okay, we got to talk about this. We actually have to have a chat about this, fellas. Because is it that big of a deal? Probably not a big deal for like your diamonds. Even your conquerors, probably not a big deal, right? And it's nice having the variability, because with variability comes a lack of predictability, and that's what you want. You want that variation, because then you just get you get problems. I remember playing StarCraft, IC Cup back in the day. I think I was rated like B, which was that's pretty good. And I remember going through the ranks, and literally everybody played identical to everybody else. Literally identical. You couldn't tell the difference between a D player, an E player, or a B player up until like the time in the game where the build order stopped. Like up until the 9-minute mark, you could not tell the difference between a D level player and a B level player if they were going like a 2-base muta. Absolutely identical. And that's part of the problem with when you've got that consistency. When you have a consistent map that always spawns, and you know the deer is always going to be in this position, so I'm going to be able to send 1-2 scouts from this angle, then I should be able to sneak one out every single time. That creates that consistency, and then it forces that kind of rigidity in build order, and that's not something that I'm a fan of. I don't like that. I mean, my autism loves it. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think it's a good thing. I think that's sort of the Age of Empires thing, right? Granary coming up in the backside. Looks like Song Dynasty has arrived. Barbican going to be out over on this east flank. And the numbers looking good for Killjadi. Once again, he's up 15 villagers in this game. He's taken out 18, an absolute monstrosity. Keep in mind that Demu is also playing the French, so he trains villagers faster than your average civilization. So not only has he got a significant deficit here, but he's also got a significant deficit in light of being the fact that he's French. And that's not an insult, that's just a matter of fact. He is playing as the French. Sorry, Marine Law. But Spearman Crossbow now going to be moving over towards this east side. He's got to be careful with the fills. More fills over on that flank. Manages to get one of them down. Killjadi just all over Demu right now. That's going to fall back. Spearman crossbow combo. Now the trouble is when you're playing a Spearman crossbow combo, the mangonel complements it very well. But obviously mangonels have been nerfed. However, there's a silver lining here. Killjadi is playing the Chinese. And the Chinese have got access to the Nest of Bees, which has obviously been brought down a peg with regard to its strength, but it is still very good. Arguably the best siege unit in the game, I would say. It's a generalist. It's an all-round beast. It will take anything and everything out at the same time. And that's scary, because there's nothing to really deal with them. If you've got a big mass of crossbows and a big mass of spears, that can be problematic. Speaking of problems, Demu right now looking to try and cause one for Killjadi as he runs underneath the Barbican. There's too many vills here to get inside. He's going to be able to start picking them off, doing a wonderful job as he does it. That's another 4 that are taken out now. And I tell you what, it's been a difficult game for Demu, realistically. You know, when you play the French, they're notorious for their desire to just kill your villagers. They're an absolute, that's all they want to do. They're a beast. And yet Demu hasn't taken any out, with the exception of these 4 that have just gone down. So It's Kiljardi's played it well. You can see right now he's trying to get that nice little ring in at the moment. He wants to throw the keep in right here and get everything linked in together. Get that nice little reduction in cost. Units on the way back. Phil's going to do a little bit of a migration here. I think the keep's going to be coming down shortly. He's still got plenty of stone to be mined. If we take a look here, you'll see that he's got no mining camp on the stone just yet. But when you got that many vills nearby, it makes me think, hey, there's a good reason or a good chance that he could be thinking about it. Upgrades on the way through. Gambeson's going to be on the way for demo here. Lumber preservation. +2 ranged attack also on the way. Just the melee armor for Kiljardi at the moment. A lot of gold in the bank. 3 relics. He could look for Yuan Dynasty. Yuan Dynasty wouldn't be bad here either, because you can convert those relics into immediate value. You don't even need tithe barns, just a whole bunch of pagodas, and that'll be all you need, my friend. And they do some incredible numbers. They are very, very nice. So I think once you finish this transfer over to the farms that he's doing right now, once that's finished, I think you probably want to go straight for Yuan Dynasty. That's going to give you access to the Fire Lancer, which isn't too important of a unit, but it does give you the extra bonus movement speed, which is always welcome, and it will give you access to the pagoda. Kiljardi now turns around, still no nest of bees in the line, in the site. So realistically, Demo can just pretty much make Arbilatria Archer here. I'd almost just stop making Cav. Doesn't really seem to be much of a point, but the trouble is, then you've got a Mangonellable army. And with a Mangonellable army comes Mangonels, even though they might not be Mangonels, they might be something a little bit different. And that, I mean, that just further ties into my point about why I think Yuan Dynasty could be a very smart option here for Kiljardi. Honestly, the way that Kiljardi's played this is absolutely pixel perfect. I think he has played an incredibly good game so far. I love the one-base style for Chinese as well. It just feels very natural playing a one-base style as Chinese. Palisade Gate now going to be under attack. We talked about the prospect of walls a little bit earlier, though we did suspect they would be in a little bit closer. This is going to give him time to move units into position if he so chooses, though he is going on the attack right now. So these knights are going to be forced to come back. He's going to have to make a choice. Do I go in and raid to try and ruin his day? Or do I head back towards my base and look to try and save everything that is back here? And he's going to go for the raid. He's going to look to try and commit. Finds only a mill at the moment, and he is 100% committing here. If we check in with Kiljardi, Kiljardi absolutely sees everything. He's got the Imperial Palace providing that line of sight. And behind the scenes, Palace Guards together with a couple crossbows. He's got... Where did these units come from? I don't know. Manages to take out a single villager. And there are plenty of units back here. So able to do a nice little defense, and you can see he's actually making his way to potentially cut all of these cavalry units off. He wants to have them taken out. Doesn't want to have to think about them again. Rewar going to come in now for Kiljardi as well. And he's working. You can see the way that he's looking to pincer, making sure that these units do not get out. He's really looking to trap them in here. And I think Demu, I mean, this is a win for Demu, right? Even if he loses the units, it's a win for Demu because he's brought the army back. He's alleviated a little bit of pressure. He's dropped a second TC. Interesting. I think as long as you drop a keep, you're going to be okay. The trouble is you want to drop a keep here on all of your resources, but you need to drop a keep here because you're just going to lose this TC. This keep needs to get thrown down. You could also look at going imp here, but it's way too far. He doesn't have the food economy set up. These are the only farms he's got. He's got a little bit of berries at the back. If he had a little bit, if he had more villagers, if he didn't lose 20 vills this game, he would probably be on a good number of farms right now. And therefore you could justify it. But he needs to get that keep in. The only trouble is this keep right here. I don't rate this keep. I rate this keep in the sense that, yeah, he's playing French and it makes a lot of sense. But my fear right now is the front of the base. And, like, realistically, you put that keep down, it buys you another 60 seconds. Because he's going to have to research siege engineering. He's going to have to get 3, 4, 5 battering rams. Of course, he can just siege it down himself. But there's nothing that stops you from... I mean, you really don't want to take a fight under a keep, even if there's no boiling oil. And then if the boiling oil does come through, it's just going to make things even worse. Once again, the cavalry towards that top side, going to try and find a way through. There's a couple of units already on standby, ready to defend. Meanwhile, towards the front, and we can see he immediately makes his way in towards the base. Demu now evacuating away from the wood lines. He's going to move all these vills around to the top side of the keep. Probably wants them to start building up that keep, because once the keep comes online, it's going to be difficult for Kiljardi to attack into this. Indeed, the keep does come up. Vil's going to head back towards the town center. He's got wood lines towards the back of the base that he'll be able to take. And now that TC, you can hear that bell ringing. Get those villagers out there working. Meanwhile, the cleanup crew doing a wonderful job. I mean, this is exactly what Kiljardi needed to do. He's always going to be able to reinforce this position as well. Even if he sends out, you know, a number of units that is not reasonable, he's always going to be able to reinforce those and make sure that he's able to win that battle. So, well played to him. Why is the Imperial official bigger on the minimap than all the other units? Have a look at that tank of a unit on the minimap. Is it just me, or is that absolutely massive? It's a big boy. He's a chunky boy. Springle now going to be coming out for Demu. Not a whole lot of melee infantry in here. You know what? I take it back. There's some spears. I'll give him that. There's some spears. There's a couple. There's a few spears. 3 sacred sites now taken. 1, 2, 3. There's always a part of me that like goes back to... Hold on, is he making these Springalds because he thinks he's going to see Nest of Bees? But then it's like, no, he's not. He's not. That's been changed for a while. Dammy's probably played close to 1,000 games now on the new Springald update. So he's making these very intentionally. Relics stolen away. That's the first one going over to Kiljardi. That'll take him to 4 out of 5. That 5th one still laying down on the floor. He's going to be sending out another Monk for it shortly. And Vil's moving forward. Look, oh no. Oh, that's, oof. Oh, that's a tough spot, isn't it? That is a tough spot. I mean, if we talk about this keep, right? Even if the keep was at the front at this point, he would have bought himself time, but he's already bought himself time here. How do you deal with what's about to happen? It just feels like Kiljardi has got the trump card for every single thing. Anything that Demu's doing, Kiljardi's just like, draw 4, mate. Just draw 4. Demu tries to do a raid. Kiljardi, he just skip. And, you know, the attack comes in and then Kiljardi's like reverse. It's constantly happening. And look at this. He's going to do a draw 2. Oh, it's not a draw 2. That's a draw 4. Look at the amount of Vils that are out here. He's taken out 39 already in this game, and it's just going to continue to climb. Vil's going to get chased away the moment they moved out there as well. It's just unfortunate. And I don't think there's really much you can do with this. Like, you could try for a wall, but what kind of wall is this? Can you really call that a justifiable wall? I don't see a natural wall out there. And now the Nest of Bees emplacements are online and going to start firing down enemy units, chasing all these villages around. He's lost 44 Vils. Units towards the back. Elite horsemen on the way through. Spears together with the palace guards. Need to be cautious. I know they're sprinkled somewhere in here. Where are they? They're rolling their way through. A Mango going to be joining them up as well. Archer's just teeing off for the moment. He's got all of his +2s, all the relevant ones at least. And now Springalds together with the Mango. Little bit of a Mango step. Mango step. Sounds like a drink that you'd order at a juice bar. 5th. Is that the 5th? That's the 4th relic right there. 4th relic being secured. And Kiljardi's army being repelled, but it's only a matter of time until that front starts to get really scary. Bombard going to be coming out undoubtedly. Never moved into the Yuan dynasty, by the way, despite having... I mean, he's got the resources to do it now, but I don't even think you'd need to do it at this point. You're in Imperial Age. You can take advantage of Tithe Barns. It's not a big deal. And Demu out here, still on the berries, by the way. He's got a farm transition that is going on, but it's been a tough game for him. He has just been caught off guard repeatedly. Kiljardi's been playing it incredibly well. Now with the Bombard out, we're going to look to siege down this keep on the front. Good luck trying to repair that bad boy. Guildhall has been taken out. I don't know what he went for. I'm going to assume gold, just judging by the fact he's got 1,500 in the bank. Springalds and Mango on the back. A little bit of support. It's not all over just yet. Clock Tower finally going to come down. That's going to be your Yuan dynasty, and hand cannoneer numbers are going to be built here. Demu is still in the castle age, by the way, and he's going to be fighting up against hand cannoneers, which makes it very difficult to play. Because the hand cannoneer is an incredibly powerful unit. A huge amount of damage. For the Chinese, a lot of range. Got to keep in mind they do have access to pyrotechnics. That's going to increase that hand cannon range by 1.5. And now the double Mango, double Springled combo coming forward. Elite Spears are on the move as well. Crossbows on the back line. Clock tower behind it, about to come up, and Demu taps out. He says, good game. It's just been relentless, this game. Kiljardi has not stopped, and today he finally gets put to rest with a big victory. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you go check them out. I'll leave a link in the description to where you can watch them live. They stream over on Twitch. Go say good day from me, and of course, we'll catch you in the next one. The drink of the day was Red Bull, by the way. Let's take a quick swig.